Have you ever come across a place that, when you think about it, feels as comforting as a well-worn sweater? A place that you know, even if only in your dreams, where the mere thought of it brings a sense of calm to your soul? Today, we're going to visit such a place together. A little cabin tucked away deep in the heart of the mountains, where the air is fresh and the worries of the world are left at the doorstep. Imagine, if you will, a quaint little cabin nestled in a clearing amidst towering trees. Its roof is made of sturdy wood, weathered to a silvery gray by years of sun and rain. Ivy, as green as emeralds, winds its way up the wooden pillars that hold up the roof, adding a touch of wild elegance to the structure. One evening, as the sky grew heavy with clouds and the wind began to stir through the trees, the first drops of rain began to fall. At first, it was just a gentle patter, like fingers tapping lightly on a drum. Then it grew, becoming a soft melody played across the roof. It wasn't a harsh, insistent drumming, but a soothing rhythm that seemed to echo the lullaby of nature. As I sit here, nestled in the dry interior of the cabin, listening to the symphony of rain, I can't help but smile. Each drop that hits the tin gutters, which are cleverly installed at the edge of the roof to carry away the water, slides down with a barely audible whisper. They disappear into the thirsty ground, absorbed by the mossy expanse that stretches out around the cabin like a velvety green blanket. The cabin isn't just a shelter, it's a sanctuary. It's a place where one can escape the noise and chaos of the world and find solace in the quiet embrace of nature. Outside, the rain intensifies, but inside, all is calm. The air is fresh and carries the scent of wet earth and pine needles, a fragrance that speaks of life and growth. Through the window, I watch as the rain transforms the landscape. The wind hums a low, steady tune through the tall trees, their branches swaying like graceful dancers in the misty air. The pines stand tall and proud, their dark green needles forming a canopy overhead that muffles the sound of the rain, creating pockets of tranquility. The smaller plants dance and twirl in the downpour, their leaves glistening like emeralds, reflecting the vibrant colors of the surrounding foliage. The rain falls for hours, transforming the world outside into a lush, verdant paradise. The sound of the rain, once a gentle patter, has now become a soft, constant murmur. It's a sound that lulls the mind into a state of relaxation, allowing one to drift away from the cares and concerns of everyday life. As dusk begins to settle, the sky outside the window grows darker, taking on the deep indigo hue of a clear summer night. The rain continues its slow, graceful dance, each drop a tiny jewel sparkling in the fading light. The wind, too, seems to calm, becoming a soft caress that whispers through the trees, carrying with it the scent of wet earth and blooming flowers. Inside the cabin, the air is warm and inviting, illuminated by the soft glow of a kerosene lamp hanging from the ceiling. Shadows stretch and dance on the wooden walls, creating a cozy, intimate atmosphere. In the corner, a small fire crackles merrily in the stone hearth, sending sparks spiraling up the chimney and into the darkening sky. The flames flicker and pop, casting a warm, inviting glow that bathes the room in a golden light. On the rough-hewn table beside the hearth, there's a kettle that's begun to steam gently, filling the cabin with the enticing aroma of chamomile and mint. Its soft whistle blends harmoniously with the murmuring of the rain, creating a soundtrack for the evening's tranquility. I pull up a chair beside the fire, its sturdy wooden frame creaking slightly as I settle into its worn cushions. I wrap the warm woven blanket that hangs over the back of the chair around my shoulders, letting its softness envelop me like a comforting hug. With a sigh of contentment, I close my eyes and listen to the symphony of sound that surrounds me. The rain continues its gentle song on the roof, punctuated by the occasional splash as a drop lands on the wooden floorboards. The wind whispers tales of faraway places through the cracks in the window frames, and the fire crackles and pops, its steady rhythm a reassuring presence. I had come to this secluded cabin seeking solace, and I found it in abundance. The rhythmic cadence of the rain, the crackling of the fire, the scent of the pines and earth, they all wove together to create a tapestry of tranquility that enveloped me completely. As darkness falls, I venture to the window and look out into the night. The rain has transformed the landscape, washing away the dust and grime of the world, leaving behind a canvas of vibrant greens and glistening blues. The trees, now dark silhouettes against the darkening sky, stand like silent sentinels guarding the secrets of the forest. The firelight dances in my eyes, painting the world in hues of gold and amber. Outside, the night is alive with the hushed symphony of the wilderness. The chirping of crickets mingles with the soft hoot of an owl, creating a chorus of nocturnal music. The rustling of leaves and the murmur of the wind add their voices to the serenade, composing a nocturne that resonates through the stillness. I turn away from the window and my gaze falls on a worn, leather-bound journal resting on the table beside the fire. Its pages, soft and a little yellowed with age, beckon me to write down my thoughts and feelings. As I open the journal, the scent of aged paper fills my senses, and I begin to write. I write of things that have brought me joy and gratitude, of challenges I've faced and lessons I've learned, of dreams that have inspired me and goals that have guided me. With each stroke of the pen, I feel a sense of release, as if the very act of writing is helping me to sort through the labyrinth of emotions that have been swirling within me. As the night deepens, the fire begins to dwindle, its embers glowing faintly in the darkness. The rain outside has softened to a gentle murmur, and the wind sighs through the trees with a lullaby-like cadence. It's then that I realize I am truly alone, not in a way that's lonely, but in a way that's liberating. I am alone with my thoughts, my feelings, my dreams, and it feels like coming home. The simplicity of this moment, the solitude, the introspection, it's a rare luxury in a world that often feels too loud, too crowded, too full of distractions. Here, in this quiet cabin, I am free to be myself without judgment, without expectations, without the need to conform to anyone else's standards or opinions. As the night wears on, the fire's last embers begin to fade, and the shadows in the room grow longer and deeper. The rain outside has become a constant companion, a soft, steady presence that has lulled me into a state of peaceful introspection. I feel a sense of gratitude for this moment, for the solitude, for the introspection, and most of all, for the calming embrace of the rain. I rise from my chair and walk to the window. The darkness outside is pierced by flashes of lightning in the distance, and the rumble of thunder echoes through the valleys. A storm is brewing, but here, in this little cabin, I feel a strange sense of security. The rhythmic drumming of the rain on the roof is a lullaby that soothes my soul, and the wind's mournful howl is a melody that resonates with the depths of my being. I turn from the window and notice a bird perched on the windowsill. Its feathers are ruffled by the wind, and its dark eyes seem to shine with an otherworldly glow in the lamplight. For a moment, we simply gaze at each other, the wild spirit of nature and the contemplative soul of humanity. Then, with a rustle of wings, the bird takes flight, disappearing into the stormy darkness beyond the window. And as I watch it go, I realize that just as the rain nourishes the earth and the storm cleanses the air, so too does solitude sometimes nourish the soul. As the night reaches its final hours, I make my way to the bed. Its quilts and blankets are soft and inviting, promising sweet dreams and restful sleep. Tucked beneath their comforting layers, I feel a sense of safety and peace that's hard to describe. The rain continues its relentless song, and the wind's lullaby echoes through the cabin. And as I drift off to sleep, I realize that I haven't slept this soundly in a long time. Tomorrow, when the sun rises again and paints the sky with hues of gold and crimson, I will wake feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, ready to face the world anew. For I have spent the night in the quiet embrace of a mountain cabin, where the rain sang its soothing song, where the wind whispered its ancient tales, and where the solitude allowed my soul to find its peace. There is a bookstore tucked into the side of an old brick building on a quiet street that no one really remembers during the day. It doesn't have a name on the front, just a small wooden sign that swings slightly in the breeze, etched with a symbol you can't quite describe. The windows are dusty, and if you pass by in daylight, it looks abandoned, dark, and still, as if no one has stepped foot inside for years. But when the sun sets and the city slips into that slow blue hour between waking and dreaming, the lights inside begin to flicker on. The door unlocks with a soft click. And if you're lucky enough to be walking by at just the right time, when the street lamps are glowing and the air smells faintly of rain, you might notice it. You might even step inside. The bell above the door doesn't ring like normal. It chimes once deep and warm, like a grandfather clock in a house that's always been waiting for you. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of old pages, candle wax, and something else. Something you can't name, but it makes you feel safe. Shelves reach high above your head, stuffed with books of every shape and kind. Some have titles in languages you've never seen. Some have no titles at all. There's no clerk. No register, just a small sign that reads, "Take what you need, leave what you've outgrown." And you understand. Somehow you do. There's a cat asleep on a pile of ancient encyclopedias. Its fur blends with the shadows, but its eyes flick open as you walk by, not startled, just curious, as if it's wondering what kind of story you came here to find. The store seems bigger on the inside. There are narrow staircases that spiral up into dim galleries, and doorways that lead to quiet corners you swear weren't there a minute ago. You wander without thinking. The books draw you, pulling you deeper. Then you hear it, a soft sigh like wind through the trees. It comes from the far corner of the store, and as you walk towards it, the pages of a nearby book rustle, though you're the only person here and you didn't touch them. The sigh comes again, and this time you see it. A young woman sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by open books. She has her head resting on her knees, her long hair spilling around her like a dark waterfall. As she lifts her head, you see that her skin is the color of moonlight and her eyes shine like distant stars. She watches you approach, a ghost of a smile on her lips. "Can I help you?" she asks, her voice like the chime of a distant temple bell. Before you can respond, she rises and pads gracefully towards you, her bare feet making no sound on the wooden floor. "I am the keeper of stories," she says, her gaze intense. "What tale do you seek? What verse or vision do you desire?" Her words echo with a power that both frightens and intrigues you. For a moment, you're lost for words. You've stumbled upon a magic you never knew existed, a realm where stories aren't just written, they're alive. Taking a deep breath, you try to articulate the jumble of thoughts in your mind. You want to tell her about the emptiness in your life, the lack of purpose, the unanswered questions that plague you. But all that comes out is a shaky whisper. I don't really know," you admit, feeling foolish. "I just felt drawn to this place, to this moment." The storykeeper nods understandingly. "Sometimes," she says, "the stories we need are the ones we're meant to discover, not the ones we're meant to hear. Come with me." She turns and walks deeper into the labyrinthine store, beckoning for you to follow. Trusting her somehow, you obey. As you journey deeper into the bookstore, the air grows heavy with anticipation. Each step echoes with possibility, each turn revealing a new vista of literary landscapes. Then she stops. Her eyes shining with excitement, she gestures to a bookshelf that was previously invisible to you. Now it stands before you, an ancient oak monolith adorned with arcane symbols. "Here," she whispers, "lies the heart of the matter, the nexus of narrative." With reverence, she opens the largest book on the shelf. Its pages, bound in leather, are filled with an otherworldly script that seems to shift and shimmer before your eyes. This, she says, her voice hushed, is the book of untold tales, the repository of stories yet to be lived, paths not yet taken, dreams waiting to be dreamed. As she speaks, the room around you dissolves, replaced by a swirling vortex of stardust and memories. The keeper of stories takes your hand, her touch sending shivers down your spine. Are you ready? She asks, her eyes searching yours, to find your story within this grand design. Nervously, you nod, your heart pounding in your chest. The keeper of stories smiles, her eyes twinkling with celestial light. Then let us begin, she says, and steps into the swirling vortex, pulling you after her. You find yourself standing on the precipice of an immense library, its shelves stretching into the infinite distance, each holding countless volumes bound in starlight and shadow. The keeper of stories releases your hand, her form shimmering like a mirage. Here, she says, her voice echoing with power, you are the author of your own tale. Here, every possibility finds its form, every dream takes flight, every memory finds its home. You take a hesitant step forward, the ancient books whispering secrets in a language older than time. The keeper of stories fades into the labyrinthine stacks, her presence a beacon in the gathering gloom. Call upon me when you've found what you seek, her voice echoes, for I am the keeper of stories, and these are the tales of your becoming. As her words fade, you realize you're not alone. Other seekers wander among the shelves, their faces illuminated by the soft glow emanating from the books they hold. Each seems absorbed in their own story, their own journey of self-discovery. With newfound determination, you dive into the heart of the library, eager to find your own story, to uncover the truths that lie dormant within. Time loses all meaning as you navigate the endless aisles. Hours turn into days, days into weeks. You read voraciously, devouring tales that resonate with your soul, learning lessons that echo across lifetimes. Suddenly, a book falls from a shelf, its title catching your eye, The Language of Light. Intrigued, you open it and find a story that mirrors your own life, your joys, your sorrows, your hopes and fears laid bare. As you read, the story unfolds like a map, guiding you to the next book, which leads you to another and another, each page illuminating a new facet of your being. You realize these are not just stories, they're fragments of your soul scattered throughout the library. Each book you read brings you closer to understanding yourself, to accepting your past, to embracing your future. You feel a profound sense of peace wash over you as you realize that your story, like the library itself, is boundless, ever-evolving, eternally fascinating. Just as the last rays of sunlight touch the horizon, you stand before a book that emanates a gentle, inviting light. Its pages whisper promises of wisdom and enlightenment. With trembling hands, you open it and find that it contains the stories of others who have walked this path before you. Their experiences, their insights, their epiphanies weave together to form a tapestry of collective wisdom. As you absorb their stories, you feel a sense of connection, of solidarity, of shared humanity. You realize that your journey is not unique, that your struggles and triumphs are echoed in the hearts of countless others. With newfound clarity, you return to the keeper of stories. Her form, radiant as ever, awaits you in a quiet alcove. You have walked a long path, she says, her voice filled with quiet strength, and now you begin the journey home. She guides you to a portal shimmering at the far end of the library. It swirls with cosmic energy, promising passage to realms unknown. Go forth, she says, her eyes shining with celestial fire, and share your story. Be the keeper of tales for those who seek, for in every tale lies a spark of divinity, a thread in the grand tapestry of existence. May your story illuminate the darkness and inspire the lost. With a final smile, she fades from view, leaving you on the threshold of infinite possibilities. Taking a deep breath, you step through the portal.